Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Ross here. This is Stellaris that has just been released recently this week by Paradox Studios, and the largest single day sales for Paradox entire history. And it's kind of interesting that we said that because it wasn't that long ago that we were seeing very similar things about City Skylines just a little over a year ago. Now this is again a 4x grand strategy game set in space in whatever kind of galaxy you want, play as many different races. And what I want to cover is some kind of basic information in this video to help you out, when you first start this game, because there is a lot going on. Now, I am no way an expert in this game yet. I have just a little bit of time in, but I have a couple different saves that I want to kind of show you different things that you might need to kind of think about ahead of time before you get that first game in. So let's hit new game right here and talk about your, creation of your civilization. So there's different presets right here. You can see there's United Nations of Earth, there's Commonwealth of Man, there is different empires of aliens. They all have unique different things. And you can see right here on the left-hand side, direct democracy, it will tell you that they're materialistic and the modifiers that come with that. It tells you what kind of worlds they like. They like ocean worlds. So later in game, you're gonna have to try to terraform worlds into ocean worlds. It tells you what kind of travel they have, it's warp travel, the weapons they have, and what kind of ships they use. Now all this can be extremely edited. We can go into any kind of race right here, we can hit edit, and you can change everything from the appearance to the name to their traits. And this is kind of important too, is because some traits are not as important as others, but others you might really want. Now you can have a total of 2 points, and as you can see, there's 3 right here, but there's a negative of habitability of 10%, and that really affects happiness. Happiness is not necessarily, though, a very good thing. I mean, it's not something that you really need, as I guess I would say. I have not seen really happiness affect anything yet after like 6-7 hours of gameplay. The ruler you can change, which that's all, kind of just appearance stuff. As you can see, you can talk about the different preference. So say this is a desert world preference right here. It tells the preference. You can change the preference, whatever you would like. And you can do this for any single civilization. So if you just like how this guy looks, but you want him to be just like a human civilization, you can do that. You can come here and you can see the different kinds of government and ethics that you can go into. You can take some stuff like, fanatically militaristic, which helps with army damage, helps with when you're at war, and gives you a lot of different bonuses for like having rivalries and stuff, which will help you in, especially in that late game. And you can go into all these different things and kind of pick out what you want. Now, the one thing that I definitely want to cover over here is starting weapons. They don't really matter. Starting weapons is just what you start at. So you can start energy weapons, missile weapons, projectile weapons. This does not limit you to anything else in the late game. You can research all these. This is just what you're going to start out with first. So you're going to start out either with projectile, energy, or missile weapons. Me personally, I would recommend energy weapons because it damages enemy armor, and in the early game, there's not going to be any kind of shields to mess with. Now the missiles though have a 100% hit rate, but yeah, and also a little bit further range, but a lot longer cooldown in firing. Now, this is the main thing I want to talk about here, and I'm going to show you in-game what this is the different kind of travels. So I have not messed with hyperspace travel, but hyperspace or warp travel is what I would recommend. Wormhole travel, it says advanced players here, and it doesn't give you that warning on the main screen. So if we hit back here and we go over to Commonwealth of Man, Commonwealth of Man has wormhole travel. So if you want to do Commonwealth of Man, I would highly, highly recommend to edit this and get rid of wormhole travel and actually take something else like just warp travel. And I'll show you why in game now. Okay, so wormhole stations are labeled on the right-hand side of your sectors. So this is the Deneb sector, and it has a little wormhole station here. Now I have a construction ship down here, and let's say I want to get down here to construct these, mining stations down here. If I click on this, you can see the travel way is going back to Deneb and go over here. So even though it says that warp is the slowest, you have to take in the account that it's not the slowest because they can actually go from point to point from star system to star system in a straight line. whereas this, they have to go back to the wormhole station to go to any star. Now, if we zoom out here, you can also see this dotted line. This dotted line is your range. Now, warp travel has the same kind of dotted line, but this, though, can be beneficial is because you can jump really far then, and also then you can kind of jump over the different spirals of the galaxy, where you really have to go places like this where there's a spiral bridge right here. You would have to go over here to get to the next little spiral leg. You won't be able to kind of jump from here to here, and I'll show you that in another game now. So like I was saying, is that you're not going to be able to go from one arm to another arm unless you go to a bridge. So this, I mean, it's not necessarily a bridge. As you can see, these two arms are connected right here, and you can see with the different colors. Now this is late game and everything, not necessarily late game. I guess I would say mid game. As you can see, I have much of the galaxy not necessarily explored, but at least open. But let's say I want to get over to the star right here. Now these lines right here is for your hyperspace. These are the hyperspace lanes. So this is a hyperspace lane right here, but yet I can't jump there. And that's really something to kind of think about, is that this is warp travel, and so you have the same dotted line, and it's a lot smaller than the wormhole station, but this station ship, I can, move over here, but when I try to move over here, it says that I can't reach that point. And it's not about the range there. It's if I go here and just fast forward here. So once I brought this science ship over here, it actually is about the range. As we can see right here by the dotted line, it does not hit that star system. So I'm gonna need to have more research. And I've already researched a lot of things. Like I said, I'm in this mid game, and maybe when I get to late game, I'll be able to hit that kind of area. But that's where the benefit of that wormhole station will come, and also the hyperspace, is that you're gonna be able to travel these distances to get to the other arms. So it's just something really to consider, when you need to traverse really large sectors of space, what kind of technology that you take. In mid-game, you're going to get the ability to terraform planets. Now, the one thing about terraforming is you can eventually terraform to whatever your race actually needs. So as you terraform this desert world, I can terraform it and I can make it into a tropical world. From there, I can be able to make it either into a water world or into a continental world. So even though it's going to take a lot of money and it's going to take a lot of time, you can eventually get every single planet to terraform into what your race specifically needs. The next tip is be careful with expanding your borders. And what I mean by that is it's very tempting to use these frontier stations to kind of expand these borders so you can kind of call that dibs on territory and kind of push out other empires. But when you're doing that, you're also going to be spending your influence, and this influence is going to be very useful in that early to mid career of your game, and you really do need to have that influence. If you start building these all over the place, especially with certain government types, you are going to take a hit where you have negative influence. So you could hire different people. You want to recruit a general, it's 50 cost. If you want to impose an edict, it's edicts have different prices. All these different things are really necessity to kind of know. And this right here, you really want to have that really high. You want to have 600 in the bank pretty much at kind of all times, because maybe you have to issue an edict. Maybe you have a faction within your empire that is about to revolt, and you want to put that revolt down. You're going to need a substantial amount of influence. So be careful with how fast you expand these borders to build things. But if once you get it built and it's in your area, just go to the station and just hit disband, and you agree, and then boom, it goes away. You still have this territory because now I have a colony out here, but you still have this territory. So definitely, keep that in mind, that even though you don't have the station now, you shrink a little bit, but you're going to keep this kind of territory because you got a colony out here. So once you get those colonies set up, definitely freaking take away those frontier stations so you're not spending. As you can see, just taking away, now I have +3 instead of only +2, and I have another station right here, and it's not doing anything except for costing me stuff. So I'll agree to disband this again. That one gets rid of that, and again, my space shrinks a little bit, the borders shrink, but you can see that I have a colony out here, a colony out here, so I have colonies a little bit spread out, and now you got to get rid of these frontier stations. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, once you build a whole bunch of colonies, what you want to do is get to sectors. So all you do is go to F2, hit F2, go to create sectors, and this is, you can get here by the empire as well, and planets. hit sector, and this what this will allow is let the AI kind of manage this area. Now this does affect you though, because you don't get as much resources, but that's how you get rid of having, you know, the ability to control directly to only 5 different planets. So we're gonna just kind of make a border here, and we're gonna take in these kind of right here, and now I'm gonna click on this one. So this range right here is now all one sector. As you can see, my planets that I can directly control has gone down at a 2 out of 5. Now this is all going to be controlled by AI. It's going to control not only the building, but also you can control then also a governor. So you assign a leader, and you just have to click on it like a governor, and you recruit somebody. That's why you need that influence. Recruit.
Our new sector governor has a...
So now you have a sector governor, you can do a couple different things. So maybe to help out building, you can actually send them materials. So you can send 100, and you can see right there, you can send 100 credits. Now this will help them build up, you know, the different things they need on the base, but also they will build stuff and store it. And you can see that they have a stockpile as well. Now you can change also the sector contribute, how much they give back to you. It's automatically set at 50%. I highly recommend having that set at 75%. You can have it at 50%, and they'll build up pretty fast, the different buildings. But if you want it only at, you can have it at 0 too, but that kind of hits you. But as you can see, as you change it 25%, I'm at 0 and 22. As I go up, I'm at 24 now. As I go up, now I'm at +1 credits and +25 minerals. And that's something to keep in consideration, is that you don't want to, you know, go into the negative. So when you make these sectors, you're going to want to only freaking, you know, make a kind of narrow band so you can get other things in there. Now you're going to want to also get planets with other materials there, like just like here, that's money and research. But you want that so they can earn their own money, so you don't have to keep on sending them stuff. Another tip is you can definitely go over this naval capacity. So it says right now I can only have 31 ships. You can go over this in a time of war. So if you stockpile enough credits, that's what will happen, is to maintain that fleet will take minerals and credits. So you can just go into here, and you can see right here, ship maintenance is at -8 credits. So it will increase the amount of credits that it takes to upkeep that, but definitely right in the time of war, maybe push out maybe, you know, 10, 15, 20 more ships than you're allotted, because you're going to take battle losses, and that will allow you to kind of continue on with the war and push through the front. The next tip is these crystalline entities. You're going to get a lot of different notifications about research and everything, and like, oh, let's go, you know, here, let's follow them and everything. And you might be tempted, like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't kill them. Maybe there's something else. It's okay to kill them. You're gonna still research, and you're still gonna follow where they're going and everything. You do not need to be friendly towards them. Just take them so you can get the research done, so you can survey the system, and so you can actually get the resources in that star system. As you can see, when you get to mid-game, you have different sectors, and you have a limit of sectors, but you can also increase that limit with technology. But you can see, as I did here, I'm kind of piecemealing it through the space I have so it can control the different colonies that I have. And you can see, though, I'm earning 201 credits. I'm maxed out. I'm earning 201 minerals, and earning 7 influence per month. And this is kind of what you're kind of looking to get to. As you can see, my fleet size, I can't even keep up with it. Every single time I keep on building stuff, it just keeps on getting higher and higher. As you can see, actually down here, when I go into here, I have a fleet size of 30,000 firepower. I have 120 transportation ships because, well, I'm trying to prepare for war. And, well, I might not actually be able to get to war. But nonetheless, I mean, that's what you really have to prepare. The AI is brutal and unforgiving, even on normal. So I hope you guys enjoyed these kind of quick tips to get started. If you have any other, ideas, tips, please leave them in the comments below. Maybe it'll help me. Maybe it'll help others. As always, though, I'm the Flying Ross, and I'll check you guys next time.